Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Zwift Community Live broadcast of the SZR Autumn Race Series. We're out here for one lap of Road to the Ruins. Super excited actually about that, to be bringing in some racing of the new course out on Zwift. Going to bring in our co-commentary, Quentin LaFay, as we watch the start of this race. Quentin looks like 45 for some of the fastest in the A race, about 113 in the C's. We'll be covering them as well. And Road to Ruins, here we go, Quentin. How do you think this is going to play out with these boys and girls?
It's definitely going to be an interesting one. It's not a course that many riders are used to race, and it will be interesting to see how people are going to react to that. To that new course, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely got a very different style, I think, of racing out here today. So we'll see how. I mean, it's this kick all the way in to the jungle, and I think that initial gradient. How long is that climb actually, Quentin? Are you familiar with how long that climb is, as far as like what we could be? I mean, we don't get a timer to the actual entrance to the Road to Ruins, but you know, or to the jungle area, jungle lap, but you know, it has that initial kick, probably one of the hardest spots on the reverse Watopia climb, actually. So I think that's definitely going to be a little bit of a kick for some of these riders that have a struggle maybe to hang on. And we might have something a little different here, you know, that climb into a descent though immediately as well. So, you know, I think it's probably 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes to the top.
Yeah, I would say 3-4 minutes, but the interesting part is that it really looks like the reversed hill on Watopia, with that first part very steep, and then the false flat dragging on after that, and even what we call the descent afterwards. It's not really a descent, as you still have to put a lot of effort to stay with the guys next to you.
Yeah, it flattens out a little bit, but then as they hit the dirt section, it's not completely descent. You're right; it does undulate a bunch, and then on top of that, it has so many corners. That's something that's very different about this course, where you are continually trying to find the next corner. And I think the out of sight, out of mind situation is a little bit easier to get into on this course. Now, we're not doing laps on it yet, which I would be excited to see that, as it's Road to Ruins. So they essentially, they're going to do one lap of the jungle loop, and then they exit. And do they head back over the top of the actual Watopia climb then?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think they come back to the flat section, and then they go through the Italian village and through the S's to the finish line.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I'm looking at that right now, and I am seeing. So it's not going to be too hard climbing immediately afterwards. So back over toward the S's, though, that'll be the last section to really try and get away. So we do have two feeds. We will be covering both the A, B section of the race, and then the C and D. Now, this is a mass start race, so they all started together. Out there today, there are no power-ups allowed in this race either. So now this is a 15-week series, and we are into, let's go ahead and double check really quickly so I do not get this incorrect. But it does look like we are into race number, I want to say 12, if I'm not incorrect.
Yeah, exactly, number 12.
Yeah, so race number 12, Kim Little is still leading out the A's with 178 points. Matt Johnson has jumped up to second place, actually, just over the top of Tom Grimshaw, actually, with 87 points. Grimshaw, though, with 86, actually. So the top three within this A category that we're going to be watching out for is definitely going to be Grimshaw, Johnson, and then Kim Little. Now, Kim Little, we did hear that he was a little sick last week. Yesterday, he looked to be in the top 10 of the CVR World Cup preseason. Maybe saving something a little bit for today. He's got that kind of locked down, though. It looks like 178 points right now. And is he actually in the field? We'll have to look around a little bit, see if we can find that Team Experimental jersey. But Matt Johnson that we're looking at here from Team ODZ is currently that second place rider. We'll be watching out for Grimshaw, who also has had some pretty amazing results lately. Wouldn't you say, Quentin? I mean, the results coming from Grimshaw dominating a lot of podiums lately against some of the fastest boys out on Zwift.
Yeah, we definitely saw a very big domination from Grimshaw. And funny thing is that he's not here today. I didn't see him in the race today, but we saw a very big bunch of very strong guys. We saw Kim Little. We saw Matt Johnson, but we also saw Bradbury from the JLT Condor, one of Ian Beebe's teammates. And I see Bruno Vieira and Johan Gren, and as well as Soren Bay. So we have a whole lot of very good riders there, and we might have a very fast race.
I think so. JLT Condor in the house today with Bradbury. Watching out for him for sure, especially as we start to climb here. We'll see if they start to separate themselves from the field. You can see the kit in game there. And next to him, though, I was just seeing a KRT rider. Is that Cartwright? No, Hodges, the cake is a lie, is in the house as well. So some of the SZR riders, though, as you can see in the game, bunched up here. PTZ, as you can see, Bikes and Beer is there. Chris Blair now riding for ODZ. Has swapped it up there and riding in the B category. Now, this race a lot of times starts to show where people lie within the B and the A category. And once in a while, you do get some over category limits, actually. For those of you unfamiliar, what am I talking about when it comes to categories? When the kicks start here and they start going into that 20-minute, what do they got? Best effort. You know, Kim Little kicking into 8.3 watts per kilogram. And some of these B category riders who are supposed to be between 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram, they may go a little bit over that category limit and then get an upgrade because of this mass start. So a lot of times the mass starts on these courses that really push the riders can tend to cause some of the B riders, you know, to try and go along with the A's, and it's kind of a good situation almost. And not to like point fingers or anything, but hey, a lot of times it's just a little bit over, but it pushes them into that A category. And you know, it's cool to actually see when riders are rewarded with an upgrade, actually, Quentin. As it's not always the way the community takes it, though. Hey.
Yeah, they're definitely not always seen as a good thing, and a lot of riders are actually pretty shy about moving up a category. But we definitely benefit from these races that mix categories together. And yeah, the rider should take that as a compliment rather than something else.
Yeah, they definitely should. I completely agree with that. As far as the compliments go, it should be looked at as, look, that's absolutely awesome. Now, it might be a little bit of, oh man, I have to go race against these guys now who are crazy fast and might find themselves off the back with a chase group, but only going to get faster when the group around you gets faster. So looking through here now, I am seeing in the C category, then we're going to see if we can find the front end of it. It does look like we do have a huge, now the C category here had like 140, I believe, or so racers. We're going to go ahead and see about halfway through the pack. I think here we do have Geitzen right along with Jarland. I do know Jarland has been showing up for quite a few of the SCR races, I believe. What is the kit that he's wearing in game there? Is that the MGCC kit, I believe they're coming through? And red, I'm not actually super familiar with this kit though, but looking forward here, we do see it looks like Z Punk as well as L Bike Ninja. The Ninja is out here in the Bike and Beers kit. Trying to follow up, it looks like Arosa from the PTZ team. Rickard's there as well with Dallin coming from the Vikings team. So it looks like Rickard is maybe leading out the front end of this C category right now. We're going to go ahead and see where people stand for the C category at the moment. It looks like we have no information over at zwiftpower.com actually just yet. So we're going to have to wait a little bit here before we actually are able to bring anything in. But we do see Hoved here as well as Anderson, Rickard, and Dahlen. That is the current lead group amongst the C category. And I might have to restart our... we might have to restart our A category bring-in, but we are seeing it does look like... Actually, Rickard Johansson, 7 races, 97 points currently. Actually, with a second, and a first. So he's just been super consistent in a few podiums, actually. Actually won the last race he was in, though. Magnus Broback there as well with 10 races, 109 points. Actually, a third, and a first. Rickard there might be trying to beat down the door and catch up to Broback. Dennis Westman is in there as well. I'm not seeing Westman, though, in the front end of the C category race right now. So it'll be interesting to see where this ends up amongst the C's. I do believe that is the front end, though, for sure. Z-Punkt here, maybe at 4-4, trying to follow things up out of Germany. Needs a little bit, perhaps, upgrade situation. We'll see if he can hold on to 4.0 all the way up and over the top here. But Dahlen right along with Rickard, right on the edge there. They're supposed to be able to hold a maximum of 3.2 watts per kilogram for a solid 20 minutes straight. So we'll see how things end up amongst the riders here in this C category. You know, it looks to be a little bit of battle. Now, what do you think about them hanging amongst these Bs? Going to push them, but also if you make this break, Quentin, I think a lot of times it comes to an advantage being amongst the faster riders.
Yeah, it definitely comes to an advantage, especially on the Ruins circuit, because you find yourself in a position that you need to be with people to go fast in the descent, and you can keep following them in a little bit of an uphill. And if you are with faster people than you quickly find yourself getting away from the people you usually ride with. And the differences can grow very quickly.
Yeah, we do see that actually already. You know, there's a 6 seconds back to M. Chapa already back here coming out of the UK. And then I am seeing, looks like the next C rider is a full-on 20 seconds back at this point with Blatt, Hull, and Brew. And you going off the front at this point actually is not going to cause too much of a worry or too many matches being burnt off the front. You're not going to have to go into a solo TT leading this race. You are going to have a lot of other riders to ride with. So they're going to have to get organized here with this chase. Broback, actually, the current series leader I am seeing here, trying to chase down Rickard, but it looks like Rickard maybe with a little bit more climbing legs than Broback on the day, and so perhaps going to be able to try and get away here. Broback with Geitzen and a few others here, and just on this downhill, they might have a few more legs and bodies to try and, you know, speed things up here, but it does look like Berg with a 2-second gap and Helmers, they're going to be the first ones on the radar for Broback here to chase down, as he is the series leader in the C category for the SZR. So we'll keep an eye on this as it develops here. I am just getting back into game with our main feed here. We had a little bit of a crash, but we will be able to bring that back in. We're also, Johnny, we are doing some more monitoring, and we're going to see if we will be able to get a fix around that. So I am opening up our chat for Twitch. We are able to actually bring in the Facebook feed directly into the Twitch chat, actually. So that is what you guys are seeing over there, chatting through. Good to see Kim Little as well as Rogers. The time warp zone upside down. So Kim, are you getting some issues, let me know, Kim, if you are getting some things as well, because we would be able to report that and maybe get that flagged quickly for these issues that may be happening, not just with me, but maybe also on your end, Kim. Anytime you do have something, please let us know, because we have a direct line. So all places. Okay. I'm all good with 2 instances going. CS Tricks is sane. Gotcha. Looking through here, I'm going to make sure I can grab Mr. Kim Little. I was back online now. Gotcha. Thank you a lot, Corbett Bourne. So Casey, we'll chat, Casey. It has nothing to do with Zwift, as I'll just be very brief, but it has nothing to do with Zwift as a whole, and can just be random individuals. So maybe not random, but anyways, so looking through here, we are seeing looks like Bradbury here with JLT Condor, as well as Soren Bay, and we are seeing Jay Adams as well, 5.8 watts per kilometer. Rockadot as well from France Larson, Hansen, and Bruno Vieira. This is the front end of the A race again here. Looks like the GLT Condor boy, along with a few others, were able to make a break here. Hodges from the KRT rider, the KRT team, looks to be on his lonesome though, amongst a lot of heavy hitters actually. Mac D is in there. Martin, Martin off the back though, actually. Treselius as well. We are seeing Kim Little here going for a little bit of a dig now at this point off the front. This is a flatter section of the course here. Interesting to see him trying to get away here and cause a little bit of mayhem in the legs. Will this pay off, you think? Bruno Vieira just closes it down immediately. He doesn't have too many riders to work with at this point. And continues on, though. 7 to 6 watts per kilogram, trying to break them. I'm not sure they're going anywhere. Oh, and perhaps this may be why right here, Quentin.
Exactly. I think the main motivation for Kim to push right now might be the fact that the group behind is only 10 to 15 seconds behind. And I don't think you want them to come back before any kind of climbs happen. And, well, he did tell me before the race that he was feeling a bit tired, and I don't see that at all right now, because he's always the one pushing at the front. And I do think he's trying to keep the chasing group away.
Yeah, it does look like that is what's happening. It looks like it's working as well. Martin here at 4.9 watts per kilogram on the front. We are seeing Treselius Curtin as well as Roberts from Vision here. 18 seconds back. Roberts always a super strong rider if he can get with a solid TT type group. But it looks like with a road race type situation with the peloton, a proper peloton up front here, I think that 18 seconds may not be coming back. But Isaacson here still 5.1 watts per kilogram as they begin the climb out of the jungle here. It looks like they may be starting to chase this down. 15 seconds is all they have at this point, Quentin. You know, it's still going to be a battle to hold them off. Now, these boys are going to have to do some serious climbing, serious numbers to catch back up to that group up front here. But it's not all said and done just yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you are on the front group, you're already thinking about the win, and you don't want to do more than the guy next to you. When you're on the chasing group, you only think about getting back to the front group, and that's kind of an advantage. And if the guys behind manage to work together, they might still have a shot at this, because when you get to the top of the ruins, then it's all downhill, and it's down to the S's afterwards.
Yeah, so catching up at this point is going to be crucial. And you do see Roberts here starting to take the helm here. 5.9 watts per kilogram. I have a feeling, though, if they want to catch back up to these boys up front, Soren Bay here, 6-7. This is a full-on attack now at this point. And the way that this climb works is a steady 3%, 4%, 5% gradient. And, you know, it's this steady grind. It doesn't have any, like, super serious kicks. You don't get those 7, 8, 10% gradient kicks that you do see on Box Hill, right? It's more of this steady grind all the way to the top, and you can keep this super high speed and force the other riders around you to hold a fairly steady pace, but they can still work together, right? So the riders behind then will have to, if they want to catch up, put in a monstrous attack. I mean, if they just hold on to this steady grind at the front, 5 to 6 watts per kilogram, it's still not going to be bringing these boys back, I don't think. I think it would have to be full-on orange number bridge type attack to get back up to these front runners.
Yeah, as long as the front guys keep going like that, I don't think anyone is going to come back. But it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to keep working together, as there won't be many opportunities to break from that group, and they might all be fearing guys like Bradbury, maybe Gren, who's known to have a good sprint at the end. And it's going to be interesting to see how maybe the non-sprinter are going to handle that. And we see now Bay trying to break away from the group, and it's going to be interesting to see who follows and how long they keep following the attacks.
Yeah, we are seeing Bradbury actually grab right under the wheel there of Adams. Jay Adams there on that Tron bike there, it looks like. And now Bradbury with a counter almost maybe. And then we do see Johan Gren maybe knowing that this is a moment to go. Don't want to let the JOT Condor rider get away, actually. Hansen there, 2.3 watts per kilogram. Adams, Bruno Vieira still able to hang on. Kim Little sitting in at 161. Larson there as well as Matt Johnson. These are the two Series 1 and 2 here. Mac DTFC is in there as well. I do believe he is within the top 5 to 10 in the series overall, but it is out to 32 seconds. We'll have to call out that there was Simon Oxenham was saying no way they're going to catch up. I think he was correct there as well. We do have social media integration going on. So for those of you that would like to tweet at Z Community Live, you can do so, and we can bring you right on into the broadcast with us here. So if you would like to ask any questions or comments, you can do so. Tweet over at Z Community Live, and we'll be able to bring in your questions, comments, or like Zwift Community Live did, a little photo here for you guys. So critical up and over the bridge, Simon is saying. So yeah, I think it's definitely going to be, that is the one spot actually, Quentin, up and over the top of the bridge, Quentin, is the one spot where we do get a little bit of a kick. And, there's that 7% gradient out of the bridge where you could actually cause a little bit of a break. And if these riders, though, they would have to be on the rivet at that point for any kind of a kick out of the bridge to really put any damage in. Otherwise, if they're sitting in, they're going to have a lot of energy to go with an attack out of there.
Yeah, the point after the bridge is especially difficult when you come out of a very long and difficult climb, and especially if the group has gone very, very fast over the past few kilometers. But it doesn't seem that anyone has been dropped from that group. And it most likely looks like it's going to go to the end like that, because if nobody gets drops in the descent, it's going to come down to the S's basically.
Yeah, and it does look like they are leaving the road to ruins now, leaving the bridge. Nobody was able to kick and get away, it looks like at this point. So all back together. Now, it will be a climb out of the road to ruins and then into the descent. So they have one more chance here. It's a small uphill gradient. It's not super exaggerated, but there still is a little bit to work with here if they did want to try and get away. Our helicopter likes the rocks here today, and so we're going to have to see what we can do here. But we do see at the front, though, it will be Hodges actually with a little bit of a kick on the front there. We are looking at the back here. JLT Condor hanging on the back, but it will be Jay Adams following up Hodges as they do hit this little 2% gradient over and out of this climb. A couple of riders coming the other way, actually, but now we are seeing Bruno Vieira 5.4, Kim Little now also following up, trying to bridge. Adams and Hodges have a 2-second gap, though, on this 3% gradient out of the climb. We do see the great valley that is that has been formed by the Watopia mountain climb, actually one of the coolest places out on course, knowing that those climbs are surrounding you as you split them right down the middle here. And we're gonna have the huge wattage bazookas to try and split this group though, with Adams and Hodges though, as Bradbury now sees the threat, heads toward the front there. 4.4 watts per kilogram, was up into the sixes there for a moment. Now we are seeing Little there moving up to the front there. MacD TFC at the back now, it looks like, with Bay as well as Jay Hansen in that Quebeca kit. It does look like it's all back together. Radicot though, they're coming out of France, maybe falling off the back there with Mac. We'll see if these two are able to hang on. It does look like they're able to sit on the wheels at this point, and the gradient hasn't stopped yet. It's the steady grind. Bradbury actually, it looks like, countering a little bit on the front here. This is the point to go, I would think, Quentin. Someone else attacks, puts a little dig in, and causes the pressure to go in. Everybody's looking for that reprieve, and once they back off the pressure on the wheels, or on the pedals, that's the moment you go. He gave it just a few seconds, and you could see the talent there as well as the tactic trying to play in. I'm not sure it's going to go anywhere though, but it was well played.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it would be the best place to go if you didn't have that big descent right afterwards, because if you get alone into that descent, you're going to get caught by the group of 10 right behind you, and that's just how drafting works. And they won't even have to push very hard to catch you, actually. And just the fact that they're riding together, you will have to put like 3, even maybe 4 watts per kilogram to more than they do to stay away. And I'm not sure attacking at that point of the race is doing any good to the riders that try it.
Yeah, we are seeing Kim Little did attempt, just going over the top here, was unable to get away though, as you can see, as we go to the top view here. We can see it is going to then be 11 riders, I believe. Amongst them, it's going to be Bradbury, MacD, Jay Adams, Bruno Verzen as well, Soren Bay, James Hodges. The cake is a lie, is in the house still. We do have Johan Gren as well as Bradbury from JLT Condor in there. Matt Johnson, ODZ, trying to defend his second place overall. So it's going to be interesting to see between Kim Little and Matt Johnson for the battle for first place out here today. All right, back in with the C category. There was a battle going on with them. They are just exiting the Road to Ruins, I believe, and or at least the Jungle Loop. And it looks like Dallin, along with, let's see if we can bring these boys right on in here, but it looks like Dallin, along with Rickard, are in this main group up front, and I believe this is the main C group, actually. So Rickard's still getting away with Dallin, it looks like here. About 12 seconds back, it is going to be Jarland and Owens. What I'm interested in is, where is the current first place rider? Brobach looks to be off the back by quite a bit, actually. The Road to Ruins not treating him well, as we can see, as we've got no Broback in the house here, the current series leader. So he was only leading by about 10 points, I believe. So this may be an upset a little bit. And it looks like Dallin here from the Vikings team getting a little cheering on. It looks like they're from, it looks like Hubbard Thomason. Go Vikings. Dallin for C, Cat. And Rickard and Dallin here up toward the front of this race. He's hanging on, but 1 second back. You better get on him there, Hubbard Thomason, as he is, well, it looks like playing it smart, perhaps, actually, as we look through here and do see that he's got what looks to be a solid heart rate, 175 right now. Rickard, they're up toward the front, 177 as well. They're just hanging on with a solid group of B riders at this point, getting a good draft. Played things extremely intelligently so far. Rickard, though, up toward the front, though, as we can see, riding for, is that the watts per kilogram team, actually? And looking through, if we can find him and Dallin, I think, are neck and neck with each other. But the Vikings, they're using that Amgen Tour of California kit, actually, as they are usually in. So Dallin here now, solid ride for him. Another Viking rider, actually, Levang, as well, going to be working for him most likely. And this is a between category situation, Quentin, where two riders are in different categories but can assist each other in the finish for some points in the series.
Yeah, it's definitely a scenario that you find pretty often, actually, more often than you should think. And well, it's definitely nothing forbidden by the rules in any case. And it's definitely a good thing that people from a higher category are able to think by themselves and go and help people that are, well, that are theoretically less strong than they are. And it's also a good exercise to develop the team spirit as well. And it's good to see that in developing in all the teams around here.
Yeah, I think there are some complaints. Oh, you're not a part of this race, but this race, does allow for the mass start, which is pretty cool. And the racing then between the categories becomes a different type of race, right? So the idea of being able to race with teammates, though, that are part of another category, like you said, really develops a lot of team spirit. And it also, in this race style, allows riders to try and hang on with riders that are above their ability level and maybe push themselves to a whole nother level. So as you can see here, these boys are hanging amongst a lot of riders that are a category above. They might even get an upgrade if these riders are racing at a pace that would, cause them to go into the next category level. But definitely, I personally, I like both styles of racing, that where you have separated out categories, so it's just that category against that category. But also, this is just another type where you have to make the break, right? You have to make the break with any of the riders. You have to be very attentive. You have to follow any of the wheels of the riders who are in your category. Pay attention, know where they are, mark them, and go with them. And so, yeah, it favors riders who might be able to go crazy hard and find a wheel up front in the race. But that's one type of a rider, one type of a talent of a rider. Then there might be others that are better at hanging on amongst the group, the category that they are within, and those races would favor them. So, and then just have more of a kick at the end. So and more of a sprint situation. But these riders, maybe with the initial VO2 max, this might favor somebody who's just got more of a 3 to 4, 5 minute power that can go with the initial attacks of the groups from up front. So this is the C category lead right now with Rickard and Dallin, I believe, up toward the front here. Dallin is still there. Did Rickard fall off the pace? Looking through here, I am seeing Dallin. He might be taking the W out here today. I'm not seeing Rickard in the current riders nearby, actually. So it may be Dallin from the Vikings team walking away with this one. And he's got his teammate right next to him there. We were seeing another tour of California, Amgen Tour of California kit. So this may be a Vikings W here. As Rickard, I'm not sure if he had a mechanical or what's happening here, but I'm no longer seeing him amongst the group here, unless he attacked so hard that he just walked away. Now, I am seeing Jay Orosa there up front, but I believe Orosa might be over category limits, actually, though. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out here. Now, we are with the front end of the race now again. They are moving into the volcano here in just a moment. So let's definitely get in with the leaders right now of the A category. We haven't seen too many attacks There was a little bit of a kick as they were going through the end of Ocean Boulevard, past the memorial and over the bridge, but it does look like it's all back together right now. Roberts there, 54 seconds back in the chase group. He was able to break away with a D-Guy coming out of Canada here, 52 seconds. Isaacson unable to hang on, will be 28 seconds, 27 seconds, but this is a large group actually. They're probably still thinking about these boys chasing them actually. I would think, Quentin. I mean, 27 seconds with this large of a group chasing you down, and all you have is 2. They look like they're working hard to hold on to that second chase position.
Yeah, they do have to work very hard, especially since that finish is it's very demanding when you are 2 against the full group, and I think we see their number right there on the screen, and they do work together pretty well. And you see when the one on the front is pushing, you see the other one settling in the pace and doing a little bit less. And you kind of see their turn coming and going. And they work pretty well together, actually. And that's pretty good to see that the way you take turn in Zwift is pretty different than what you do on the road. And these guys are
can you talk about that a little bit? Can you give us a little, what's different? What's different about the way you work in Zwift versus on the road?
Well, when you're on the road, you have the guy in front that goes slower to get behind the guy that he's with, and the second one keeps going at the pace he was. On Zwift, it's a reverse, actually. You have to go a little bit faster than the guy that was in front, right up to the moment that you no longer draft him. And that's the way the group keeps going faster and faster. Because if it's the one in front stopping in the effort, the group will go slower.
Interesting. So a little bit different. So on the road, it's a consistent pace. Keep it steady right here. The guy up front slows down, moves away back. In Zwift, you have to speed up and get ahead of the rider and actually put out more power. It's not about staying consistent and steady. And instead, you speed up to get around the rider ahead, and the other rider moves back much slower, I would think, in order to, create that echeloning TT situation. So definitely something maybe we should show live. Maybe we show a practicing of a TT between some of the team. Now Quentin's looking at me like, yeah, we're not showing you our practicing of a TT tactics here. That's not happening. Can we get a team to show us how they do it? They're like, no, that's top secret information. Not happening out here.
I think Team Experimental was quite open to show that kind of thing.
Okay, so let's get Team Experimental out there. CX Tricks, you've been called out along with Kim Little. Let's see their tactics out on course here. So Simon Oxon saying an attack in the tunnel can stay away. Doesn't look like anybody has gone for it then. It does look like Radicot. Oh, it does look like that kick from Little, though, shed one off the back. It does look like 5.4 watts per kilogram here coming from Rakadot, but not sure he's going to be able to close this down just barely, but that's a match burnt right before the finish line here. And Bradbury here playing it smart, looks like 149 beats per minute. Hodge is there, 140, 143 from Johan, 153 from Bay. So it looks like everyone's fairly calm except for Bunivaria there. Now look at this, Kim Little, Johnson, 154, everybody into a tempo pace. I think they're thinking about the sprint at this point, Quentin.
Yeah, they're already thinking about the sprint, and one interesting thing is that Hansen, the Danish guy we talked about last week, is still there, and he might be one of the wild cards in that sprint, right along with guys like Kim or Bradbury or Gran.
So we've got a call out here, the Team Dimension data kit on here. Jay Hansen coming out of Denmark. Will he be able to take this down? 173, fairly high heart rate. I'm not sure what he maxes out at though. We'll have to wait and see, but it does look like Hansen here 3.4, 3.1 watts per kilogram, and a little bit of a call out for the wild card. But now the one who was off the back here, the Frenchman, he's going from way out. I don't know. Can he hold on to this kind of attack here? He doesn't have any seconds really at this point. We do see Hodges trying to follow it up. Will he be able to hold on to 7-9 all the way through? And even if he can with that downhill here, I think it's just going to be caught here. Little here now, 2 seconds back, but in the group here, what's the call here? You think it might be Hodges? Who's it going to be? Little? Let's go ahead and wait for the results here. What do you think here, Quentin, between the riders?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Little or Bradbury. I think Bradbury might be a safe bet as well.
Bradbury, we'll see if the JLT Condor boy can make it happen. Here we go. It's coming to the line here. Matt Johnson, though, current second place overall now is going. Will he be able to hold on to it, though? It's him. It's Kim Little back, neck and neck here. Little, though, is going. Kim Little to the line, but there is also asymmetric. It will be Johan Gren coming on as well. Kim Little, Gren, and it was, I can't tell. Hansen. Third place. It was right there at the last moment. I'm not sure who it's going to be. Let's go ahead, see if I can actually get our instant replay to work. We'll watch it real slowly. If we got it here, I believe we do. Yes, we do. And now right to the line, you can see it was Little and Johnson neck and neck. Kim Little came by at 13 watts per kilogram. Let's go ahead and slow it down a little bit more as they come to the line. Gren is coming on like a maniac there. And Kim Little still 12 watts per kilogram, but Gren there up into 11, kicks one more time, 13 watts per kilogram, comes flying right on by Johnson. We get the top view, and you can see it right at the line. It's going to, let's go ahead and back that up once more. Right at the line. It was, let's call it chat. What do you think, chat? Who grabbed it? We will get results, but I want to hear it from chat. From your guys' perspective, look at that. Kim Little. I call Kim Little, Quentin. I call Kim Little.
Yeah, you can call Kim Little, but I think Zwift Power has a different answer to that.
Oh, Zwift Power has a different answer to that. Shots fired, boys and girls. All right, we're coming into the B category now, and we need to get off of the instant replay as they are about to make their way to the line. They're right behind these boys, actually. Here they come in the B and C category, absolutely flying to the front here. We've got Legestrand as well as Bernstein. We've got, it looks like Johansson here to the line, followed by Legestrand and then Nissan, I believe. We do not have instant replay on this one, but it looked like Johansson, followed by Legestrand in that category. Solid result there in the B category. Let's move back to the C's now, as they're going to be coming through any moment now. We'll see if we can get them on screen as soon as possible here. As soon as we do, we will be bringing in the final sprint on the day. But solid result there for Johansson. Some crazy, and like you said last week, the B category, Quentin, sometimes some of the strongest sprinting.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to put there is that there was 2 B category from the Vikings team in the group, in the chase group of the A, and as of right now, they are not over category limit, and they might be taking 1 and 2. It's Per Vidar Avelsberg and Jan Ivar Bringedal, and
so they were up ahead. They were up ahead.
Yeah,
not over category limit.
Exactly, in the A chase group, and they are not over category limit as of right now. So they might be taking 1.
Interesting.
Then we have Andresen from the Vikings team as well, who finished 2 seconds up before this group. So it might be the 3 guys from the Vikings team that take 1, 2, 3 in the B category.
Gotcha. So I'm looking through here. Vikings dominating, it sounds like here. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm looking through to see what is happening with the sprints behind here. I'm unable to bring them in there, you guys. I'm trying hard. I only have 2 setups here, and one of my setups had to leave the SZR race actually to get back in here. So we're going to see if we can get back in with the C's. They probably already came across the line. And I apologize, everybody. We're still working on getting some broadcaster tools in order to go between events. Because essentially at this point, I have to click through and find the race. But I believe we probably lost the front end of the seasons. They weren't too far behind. I'm going to keep on moving, though, and see where we're at. Oh, Levain here. There it is. Rickard actually right to the line. There it was. That was it. Rickard across the line, I believe, and we just missed it. Sorry, everybody. I believe Rickard was still all alone, though. And double checking here to see, and it looks like there is a sprint that we will be able to watch, though, a little ways back with Johansson coming out of Denmark here. So we will still be able to grab this C category sprint. Johansson, Radzak here as well, making their way to the line. Ruford is there coming out of the US of A, and it does look like Radzak here out of Sweden, but it will be Pfeffer up to the front. D. Berg as well. Ruford, here goes Caldera from PTZ, and it looks like maybe Caldera be the one to watch on the day here. Caldera followed up closely. It looks like Team Chalk as well, but I think Team Chalk was able to take it from him. Caldera, I think, was second amongst those riders there in the group, at least. Do not have instant replay on this feed, but we'll wait for the results in ZwiftPower.com. Now, I am seeing Christian Weideman saying in the chat, Kim Little, followed up by Johan Gren, Jacob Hansen. So that was the order, actually, according to Christian Weideman. I'm going to double check real quickly, though, here. ZwiftPower.com might have something different to say about it here. Let's go ahead and double check here. And I'm looking through, and I'm seeing Johan Gren at a 39.35. Yeah, 0.03. 0.03 is what we're seeing there.
That's if you look in the live column, but if you look at the results page,
okay,
you might see something a little bit different.
Oh,
with Kim Little.
Yeah. So good call. So guys, mistake made by Nathan there. Quentin being the experienced racer. We've got so this situation here, Kim Little up toward the front there with a Zara approval, I think, is the situation. Yeah. Is that what that is, Quentin? The Zara approval?
Yeah. We have the Zara approval from Kim, and the thing is, Johan, that he has many solicitations to get this approval, and up until now, he hasn't been able to give back the number, the data that was asked from him. So until he gives this kind of data, he's going to keep that DQ going, and that's a shame for him, actually, because riding on Zwift is hard, giving 100% is hard, and you can do nothing beside encourage him to get this approval as soon as possible, actually.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you there, 100%. And so Grant putting a lot of effort there out on course, and definitely want to see numbers verified so that we can get him into the results and racing with everybody for the official results coming, the community official results coming from ZwiftPower.com. Yeah, guys, I got you, James. You're not lying this time. The cake is good. And Zwift Power Live is not official. Check the generated results. I really appreciate that. Kim still won by 1/1000th of a second. And I got to watch the replay again. It was such an amazing effort there. Maybe I just like the replay feature, but it's pretty sweet. So to the line here, we've got Kim Little coming there, or Matt Johnson leading things out. Kim Little comes by absolutely flying like a freight train. Here comes Gren from behind here at about 11-12 watts per kilogram. We see Hansen there, ends up in third place on the day, also killing it. Maybe just a little late, Hansen, You know, he's right there, and he was coming on pretty strong still. It looked like he had 14 watts per kilogram to give, but it was a little bit too late. If he would have went a little earlier, perhaps Quentin, maybe would have been able to grab a spot up ahead of Kim. Maybe the timing on the sprint just a little bit off there.
I don't know. Like this sprint was very interesting because you can see there is two waves. There's the first wave with Matt Johnson and Kim Little going right up the front, and I think Kim was in the first place very early, and Gren, Hansen, and Vieira were still in the draft of Johnson. They were not 5 meters away, so they had that advantage to being in the draft, and they kept the momentum going, and that's how, even if they weren't putting bigger numbers than Kim, they were going faster, and that's definitely interesting to see that launching your sprint very well, a little bit later than the first ones, sometimes pays off. And
this time, though, it looks like it paid off for Kim on the day, though.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but Kim is a very good sprinter, and he can hold on to that sprint for a long time, and it was a very close call, and there was definitely two ways in that sprint.
Quentin, perhaps if they would have launched right behind Kim, held onto his wheel, and then taken that last effort at the end. Now, being able to launch and hold onto the wheel, though, is a whole nother story. You know, with the amount of power being thrown down, there might not be any drafting at that point with the kind of kick that is happening. So, looking through here, a couple of questions. How do they verify their power data, Jane Mouse is saying? Well, you got some great answers actually coming through. Thank you so much, Carissa, and the rest of the viewers and racers hanging out in the broadcast. So SZR series, looks like Kim takes down another win. I think he's got it at this point. It's your best 12. He hasn't done 12 yet, but he's getting close to the total that he needs. And I think he just has to show up at this point for the races. I think Rickard Johansson, though, in the C category, is going to be bumping up ahead of Brobach here for the lead in the SZR series, actually.
I think he might actually. Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to look for him in the C category results, and I can't see him. He's seventh. He's in seventh place.
Seventh?
So he might not.
Really? How many were ahead? There was a bunch ahead. Maybe I missed that then. In the
I'm seeing Johansson and Dallin in the first and second. And we got Caldera in third, Helberg in fourth, Hall in fifth, Pfeffer in seventh, and Brobach in seventh. And it looks like he was just in a group 1 minute behind.
Gotcha. So Dallin there, Rickard. You were saying Arosa here though at 3.5 watts per kilogram though for Arosa. So he's over the category limits there. Rickard Johansson here, Richard Dallin. Then we're seeing Caldera, Stefan Hallberg, Peter Radok, and then Phil Hall. Perhaps, we'll see how it ends up playing. I have a feeling that Rickard might jump up a little bit here. I'm going to go to the actual results real quickly as I had the lives up there for a moment. But Rickard Johansson, I've got a first place for him in the C category for team watts per kilogram. Dallin there and George Caldera here. Stefan Hallberg, Phil Hall. So Hallberg, I believe, looking through the current results, I believe Jarland was also in the running there, but he took a 12th place today, so not going to be grabbing too many points, but might go up a place or two. Hockengrass just ahead of him there. So Dallin will jump up a little bit though as well. Maybe be able to take a spot from Dennis Westman there, I believe, with that result today and jump up in the series. In the B category then, Avelsberg, you were saying, took the W. Is that right?
That's what I'm looking at right now. And
Vikings. Oh my goodness, just domination out there today. Bart Anderson Bringdeval and Alvesberg, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they were able to hang on to the chase group in the A category without getting over category limits. Just 3.9 for Aversberg. So I mean, GG to them. The kind of tactics we were talking about earlier. It's the difference between being able to go on the front by yourself and being able to follow the group that gives you the advantage over the rest of the riders.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And that was a great job to the Vikings boys. So Kim was saying draft is everything. Krista says, yep. Then Kim says, well, scones are everything, but draft is next. You know, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I got to agree on that. I have to agree on that.
I wish I had the confidence and skills to do road racing in real life. TTs are fun, but I get passed by dudes riding on the hoods with flapping club fit jerseys who started minutes behind me. Carissa, let's go out and climb some road. Or no, ever thought of mountain biking? That is a great point, actually. Carissa, I would encourage you maybe to check out mountain biking. You know, get some, I have same problem, need better bike handling. Yeah, I think, but maybe some strength training and some, you know, we were chatting a little bit about Lindsay's balancing stuff too, and strength training with balancing can get that pretty quick. And just get out on the bike and have some fun. Don't race right away on the mountain bike. Don't even race Strava, and just have some fun and get fast. So, what about you? You gonna be doing some mountain biking, Quentin? Where's your mountain bike, Quentin?
No, the mountain bike is right downstairs, but I'm not doing that anytime soon. Like I have pretty bad memories of mountain biking. The actual first descent I did, I had no brakes, and that's pretty traumatizing.
Oh man, ouch!
Without brakes.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the best experience in the world at all, actually. So no brakes. Well, you might be doing it right, though. Some would say no brakes. No brakes. Mountain biking is less intimidating than the road as long as you have brakes, Carissa. Just make sure you show up with the brakes. All right, that's gonna be it from the SZR race today for me and Quentin. Tomorrow. Coming up next. Now, we didn't chat about this a whole lot as there was a lot of action throughout the race, but we've got the crit series for the men and the women coming up tomorrow. So presented by Tax, the European Women's Crit Series, and presented by Cyclops, the Women's North American. And then we also obviously have the times here. They'll be going down 8:02 p.m. GMT on Thursday. So that's going to be 2 p.m. CST. We'll be live with the European. I believe we'll be covering the East. I'm not sure on the West for all of the races. I believe we will be covering the East. We got to take a look at the participation between the men and the women and see how it goes there. But the men's as well, so just starting 2 minutes earlier than the women's. And I believe we'll be covering the East for North America. I need to double check on that, though. We do not have absolute confirmation, but these start tomorrow. They are going to be a 10 race series in which invites will be sent to the top men and women to the finals. I believe it will be next March. Do not quote me on that exactly, though. But this is the E-Crit series for the men and the women starting up tomorrow. Make sure to tune in for the EU, and we'll have an announcement on what time we are covering the NA series as well. We should have a new commentator on board with us tomorrow as well to welcome in. A very familiar face to me. So we'll see how things go with the setup tomorrow, and if we are bringing in. And I can try to throw a non-commentated feed up of the West. Sounds good, Carissa. We would actually welcome that. 100% if we are not covering it. I do not believe we are, but I need to double check, and we'll have an announcement tomorrow. We need to look at the signups and some other things. So, as well as my own personal, it's a Thursday night grandma meal. We'll be skipping that for the next 10 weeks, it looks like. So, need to be a little bit available. So, Quentin, it was a good race today. Solid effort from Kim Little, as well as the Team Vikings out there. Matt Johnson, still solid result for him, able to hold on to second as Grimshaw not showing up today. Maybe his focus is on crit, and I have a feeling maybe Grimshaw's thinking about live racing with prize money on. I mean, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, definitely a very interesting race today with that new course, and we definitely saw that everything happened in the first climb, and afterwards it's down to the sprint, and the guys did a very good job handling that and keeping the groups together. But yeah, to talk about Grimshaw, we actually saw his name on the broadcast, and it was when the KOM times were going on the left side, and we could see 138 up the forward KOM on Watopia. So I think he's still training out there. He's just going under the radar for waiting for the CVR League, I think.
I have a feeling you might be right about the CVR League, maybe a little bit of crit series maybe as well tomorrow. So we'll see how things play out for those two. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Quentin, thanks a lot. Always a pleasure having you. And we'll be back tomorrow for the crit series, right, Quentin?
Of course.
EU. I don't know. NA is pretty late for the Frenchman. We'll see if we can get him on board for a 2 a.m. broadcast, Quentin, if you're going to be on with us.
Yeah. Late night is always good for me.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Again, you guys, one other thing we've been definitely promoting recently are our Twitch streamers. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to go ahead and check out the Vegan Cyclist. He's been out hammering, and we actually have a little bit too much of his hammering coming through here. But Vegan's been broadcasting recently out on Twitch. And if you'd like to get hooked up over on Twitch, contact us to if you need information about how to start streaming and what the best practices are. But twitch.tv, the Vegan Cyclist, he got this clip into our broadcast by creating a Twitch clip of a cool moment for his broadcast. This looks like the sprint that he was in for, what race is that? I can't see it on the right hand side there, but was in the final there with a couple of others. Almost took the W. I think he ends up in second place to the rider up ahead, maybe he does actually take it there. No, there's one rider that does jump ahead of him there, but definitely send your Twitch clips in. We'll get your channel out onto the broadcast with us here. So, and maybe double check the heavy breathing though with the noise gate and maybe a little music in the background. So, looking through here, who's riding in the next 2 hours? I think I am. I think I might be jumping on. We'll see. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. North American eCrit starts up tomorrow, as well as the European. We'll be back usual time, usual place for that. 2 p.m. CST, 8 p.m. GMT will be the first broadcast tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Great job to all the racers and riders. And as always, ride on.